Hi everyone, this is Emily.
This is Stephanie.
And today we're going to do a review of Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson. And this was our January pick. Mine. Okay, fine. She actually agreed. But our January pick for Book of the Month. And yeah, today we're going to be doing, for the first part of this video, we're going to do a spoiler-free portion. And then after that, we will be talking a little bit more in depth about the book itself. So the book itself is about an utopian project that is led by a doctor and 3 of his candidates. And he then tries to interview and then basically recruits about 18 different types of families of all different races, genders, and even a single mom. And it really delves into year by year the sort of progress that they make in terms of becoming, I guess, what they in the book is called an infinite family project. That talks a little bit about like what exactly does it mean to be a family, and is there any way for people to really relate to each other beyond like the way that we conventionally relate to each other. So that's a little bit about the synopsis of the book and what kind of happens when you put all those type of different characters together.
And also I want to add, it's also about child development, how the family affects child development, and how like it's like a 10-year program, so you kind of see per year like what changes, what gets developed, what's studied, and whatnot. So
yeah.
So for our first impressions for this video, I want to do a thumbs up. Actually, I just swore I didn't like it, but then I thought about it again. I was like, you know what? I actually liked it at the end. Like the beginning, I didn't like so much. It was definitely a little slow to start, but I did at the end of the book kind of enjoyed the overall.
Okay, good. My pick is going to actually be this little bit of a happy face because it is about utopia, or at least a trial at one. And as Steph helpfully mentioned before, the story is really about what makes good children, you know, like what really happened, how could you bring up kids that are going to be productive as well as kind in this sort of world. And the author definitely did try to really carry on that message through his story. So after showing each other our first impressions of this book, I know that you changed your mind midway through the video apparently about the story, so can you elaborate a little bit?
So like I said before, like the beginning was actually really slow. I don't like books with very slow beginnings. Like I understand it's like world development, but I feel like sometimes a little bit too much world development, and sometimes you just need to get into the book and, you know, do some world building as the plot continues. So for this book, you definitely need to take some time to understand that the first few chapters are a little bit slow. And then once you get past that, it starts to pick up. And once I got into the infinity family, you know, year 1, year 2, year 3, whatever, you kind of see, you know, the interactions between the families, how the children are developed, the relationships between the parents and the kids, as well as each other as an infinite family project. So after that, I kind of decided, you know what, this is actually, one is a unique study, it's definitely an interesting study. And even though it's a little weird, like they addressed a lot in the book about how others thought of it as a commune, which you can kind of really see because it is kind of like a commune aspect, but not really without the religious cults behind it that, you know, usually are associated with communes. But this book was definitely more of like a scientific study. So at the end, I definitely thought, you know, this is actually an interesting book. The ending was a little bit, I don't know, but overall I think it was good.
Cool. Yeah, so for my feelings about the story, I thought, I agree with you, a lot of it was very clinical. Like there was very good segments, but a little dry of chapters of what exactly is Infinity's family project, why is it relevant, etc., etc. And they don't really go too much into the characters themselves. The main character, Izzy, in the story is kind of the sort of guiding light through the entire narrative, while the author jumps through various character viewpoints, which is also unique about this book. From there, though, from Izzy's standpoint, you really get to learn a lot more about the impact of science on everyday life. And yeah, eventually as you kind of go on to it, the beginning was dry, but then as you get into it, you're like, oh, okay, so that makes sense. Oh, maybe that makes sense as well. And so if you're sort of really into the idea of experiments and like psychology itself, and then trying to find more of a narrative story with that context, this is definitely the book for you. So this concludes the spoiler-free portion of our video. We're going to actually go a little bit deeper into character, plot, and the writing itself here. We're going to start off with character this time. So what did you think overall about all the characters?
So the one thing, okay, the characters themselves, I mean, there's so many. First of all, there's 10 families. Like total, there's 10 families. 10 plus, I mean, including one single parent, which is Izzy. So there are a lot of people to go through. All the scientists as well as the kids. So in the beginning, I was actually a little confused because there's so many parents, so many kids, and so many like scientists. There's so many names basically. And there were definitely a few times when I was very confused with who is who, especially with like Jeffrey and Jeremy.
Oh my god,
I was like,
yeah.
At first I was just like, wait, why did this happen to Jeremy? I was like, isn't Jeremy the scientist? Like, is this some sort of thing between like, isn't like, it violates the whole study? Like, it can't be no relationship between, you know, the study versus like the, like, with the family, whatever. And then I realized, oh, actually JK, it's a different guy. Completely different guy. But like, I thought the characters, I wouldn't say they definitely matured as the book progressed. As the year progressed and you see the relationship grew, it was actually kind of interesting for me to see, you know, for it to wait, what was it, like 8 years, I think, 7 or 8 years, before it finally erupted. Like, I was so expecting things to erupt within the first 2 years.
Yeah, I definitely see that viewpoint. Like for me, like a lot of the characters that one thing about all of the families that go in the 10 is that they're all kind of delinquent families. Yeah, they're all very flawed, right, in that way, which is probably why you were like, oh, it's probably gonna fail in like the first or 2 years.
Well, there was one couple that was like pretty well, like not well up, but they were like a novelist, family. Right? Yeah, the novelist, and like the dad who was also like, you know, had a regular job and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, like other than them, everyone else had problems. They were either like didn't have a job, they were like just super young, therefore they were like still in college, or like join a school and whatnot. So another thing about this study that I thought was interesting, what I was kind of envious of these parents actually, was because they had so many resources. For example, you know, for some of these like younger parents who, you know, fresh out of college, or not even fresh out of college, some of them didn't even have any like college degree. They really utilized this time to get that degree. Yeah. Everything is paid for by the study. I was just like, hello, that's like $100 grand. Plus
Do you want a kid?
Well, no, but the thing is, like, but that's the thing, like, your kid is so taken care of, like, you don't actually have to do much work.
Well, I think that was the whole point. It was the fact that this was a utopia. So in the utopian society, all of us would be able to do everything we wanted, as well as have kids, you know?
Yeah, and so I was just kind of like, I was very jealous, actually. I was like, you know what, like, if I had a kid, I want other people to take care of the kid, too. Like, I mean, obviously I take care of the kid myself, but it would be nice to have financial support, you know, emotional support, like physical support with the kid, you know? Because other than just you and the father. And that's like the minimum. That's like, if, you know, your family is going well, like if it's like a single parent like Izzy, which happened, like then she didn't have the support of the father. So having all that additional help is actually like really beneficial for the parents as well as the kids.
Wait, but that's the premise of the story. Was it really? Was it actually beneficial for the kids to grow up in a utopian setting and then be set off into, you know, this imperfect world?
So, okay, so I feel like in a way it definitely did help them. They were definitely much more advanced with their other peers when the study got abruptly ended, in terms of like academic wise. But in terms of social skills, they were definitely a little behind because they were too trusting, because they feel like everyone is their friend, everyone is their brother, everyone's their sister. It's that commune effect, because they live with 10 other siblings from infant to, you know, almost like 10 years old.
They're siblings in terms of by project.
By project, right.
They're not by blood.
No, not by blood, hence the 10 families. But what I want to say is they were definitely a little sheltered in that regard because everything was spoon-fed towards them. You know, there was no real like heartache going on. There wasn't really any like tragic whatever for most of the part until the end, obviously. So I feel like I don't know if it was good for them, but it certainly wasn't bad for them, this study.
I see. Okay. Well, for me, I think in terms of the characters, they definitely served their part in telling the story. Like you could see like Izzy, the single mother, in terms of her perspective and how she went about things. I didn't really like how she ended up with the scientist.
Yeah,
I was a little weird about that.
Because
I was like,
I didn't really get any romantic sense between the two at all.
Yeah, that was a little weird for me. But I guess in terms of the affairs that happened in the story, like I was like, oh well, I didn't even realize. I was expecting it earlier.
So I was really expecting that affair to happen.
Okay.
Like I was that didn't surprise me at the least. I was just surprised that it took 7, 8 years to get to that point. You know?
But they were having affairs for 2 years.
Okay, but still,
year 6.
but still, that's significantly more than 5 years.
Yeah, I understand. But a little bit more now about plot. So we've kind of gone around the fact that whether or not it was good for the characters and for the children, this setting is basically like the gold of the story. So would you want to like dive a little bit more into like the idea that it was supposed to be a utopia? Like it was supposed to be perfect. So you're saying like in contrast to like what it did to the kids, you're saying it might be bad.
Well, not that it was bad or anything. I think that there was also definitely some negative side effects to this utopia because, like I said, they're too sheltered. You know, so are you saying that like a utopia requires a certain sense of like reality in it in order for it to be actually utopian? Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a good take on it.
Because end of the day, it's like you don't really learn anything unless you experience it.
Okay.
Right? So for them to learn, you know, things are not as it seems, that people might not have your best interest in mind. They can't really learn that until they've experienced it. And with utopia society, everyone is, you know, happy, everyone works together, everyone is
she doesn't want that.
Everything is perfect. Then you like when you get out of the utopia society, you get step into reality, then you're just like you're gonna be burnt, you know?
Yeah, but I guess there's like two sides to the setting, and I think that was the main point of the book, which he did really well, was the fact that there's this potential that we could all be like that. If we all just let ourselves believe in utopia versus like, oh well, this is the current world. You know? And so like you definitely mentioned a lot of like why this society didn't work in the end.
Well, it's not just that, like, okay, so another thing about the utopia society, it can only work if everyone has the same mindset. And clearly not everyone had the same mindset. A lot of people, there was I forget the name, it was like Mary or Ellen who went in and she kept like in the beginning she kept having issues. She was just like, I don't know if this is what I signed up for, I don't know if this is really what I really want. And she kept trying to get more attention with her baby.
Yeah, Mary,
as opposed to, so that's why she had that problem with Izzy later on, because like Izzy kind of like told on her. So she kind of like signed up for something that she didn't really know. She saw the benefits and didn't really think of the drawbacks. So for this project to work, everyone needs to be kind of like Izzy in a way that, you know, she really wanted, you know, this family like thing, society going on. Plus actually her background, she was what, like her dad was the only one there and he was an alcoholic, so he was never really around. She had to work hard, go to part-time jobs and whatnot, and with Mr. Tannehill. So he was really the father figure for her. So with that kind of background,
that is kind of weird the way you said that.
What, the family figure?
Mr. Tannehill. Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind. I mixed up the characters. At first I was like,
like the guy who taught her to like do the
yeah. Okay. So he was. Never mind. Don't worry about me.
So he was a father figure, basically a father figure for her. And with that kind of background, you can really see why she thought having like a really big family would be beneficial for her kid. So it's for people, I feel like this project would work if everyone came with that kind of mindset and that kind of expectation, but that's not necessarily the case, which is why ultimately it didn't work out.
So as you can see, we're really getting deep into this idea of utopia, so clearly the setting definitely works. Yeah, in addressing a lot of like those major issues that come with trying to create a perfect world.
Right.
So then the last thing that we were going to talk about is the writing itself. So what did you think?
For the most part, I did like the writing. I feel like what I think the most was the fact that, you know, for each chapter is labeled year 1, year 2, year 3. So there is like, you know, time gaps, you know, between, because I mean, you're not going to like read the whole year's worth of, you know, experiences and studies and whatever. But I liked how he kind of took the most important part of that year, put it into a chapter or 2, or how many chapters there was for each year, and then moved on to the next year. So because of that kind of time continuation, time gaps, I thought it was really easy for me to read and understand, okay, so this is now year 4. You know, what's the progress now?
Yeah, so in terms of writing for me, I thought it was really easy to read as well. This overall way that he wrote was very clear. It was, as you said, since the topic itself is very clinical, he definitely makes up for it by trying to really show you what the characters are doing and what they're going through. He chooses very good snippets of each family. Like as you said, like the dilemma between Mary and Izzy, and then in the same chapter he talks about Dr. Grine, who is the doctor of the study,
the head doctor
of the study, and his fellows and how they see things. And you can, because of the unique way that he prescribed the chapters, and since that each chapter was a year of the program, he basically does that in terms of storyline. So like the year, this is what's happening, and you don't feel much resistance in terms of, oh, this is this month or this is that month, because he doesn't mention it and you don't mind.
Right.
So I think in terms of writing, he did a really good job, and it was a very easy read.
So that's it for the discussion for today. As for A Perfect Little World by Kevin Wilson, as always, we will include all the links below if you want to check out Goodreads for more reviews. If you want to purchase the book via Book of the Month subscription, you can join us for a subscription, or you can purchase it via Amazon or audiobook. Oh, I'm also going to include the link for my giveaway. If you want to enter, it ends end of May 1st, and you can win 10 books. I will have an image here that you can see which books you can win. And yeah, please make sure to subscribe and like our video if you liked it down below, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.